Welcome to another episode, everyone. Compton Ricc Roc. Yeah, he responds and addresses the Sporty face situation. He did a video earlier, and all he said was that him and Sporty face had handled it this morning, and it wasn't for the internet. But apparently he changes, and that's all he said about it. He went on to speak about something else. Apparently he changed his mind not long after, an hour or so later, whatever, and decided to speak on an issue with Sporty face. He addresses it right here in great detail. I suppose everything that happened. And let's hear what Compton Ricc Roc has to say.
All right, let's get to it. Everybody want to know what's going on with Compton Ricc Roc and Sporty face. How did we get here? How did all this transpire? And what happened yesterday at the 3 o'clock meetup between Compton Ricc Roc and Sporty face? Also, what happened this morning between Compton Ricc Roc and Sporty face? You guys will have to wait till later on in the video, and we will break down what happened this morning. I know you all is waiting to see my response. So we're going to do this video over here. But before we do that video, man, I want to send an apology out to my community as well as Sporty face community, because this don't got nothing to do with them guys, man. They caught up in it. Everybody is, my phone been ringing off the hook. I'm pretty sure his people's phone been ringing off the hook about this stuff that's going on. So we're going to break this up, but we're not going to talk about no street stuff. We're going to keep all that out of it, and we're going to talk about what's going on, how did this stuff started. We're going to do a reaction first to Sporty face and Compton Ricc Roc's neighborhood at the 3 o'clock meetup. Let's go over here and check it out, man. Let's go.
You thought a nigga was playing? Dead homies. I'm right here on the Put the Cribs on your block. On your block. Nutty block, right? I'm waiting on you, been waiting on you. This the G's, right? 40 Crips. Shout out to my niggas from Nutty, bro. Shout out to my niggas from Nutty, bro. It's my niggas. I have to give you something out the ice cream truck and wait on you, cuz. Dead homies. I'm sitting here waiting. No disrespect to nobody, no disrespect. I'm just saying, I'm in the Nutties. Walk down here, I'm about to give me something out the ice cream truck. Waiting on you. Dead homies.
All right, let's stop here. This got to be one of the most interesting videos that I've done a reaction to so far. And it's probably going to be one of the biggest ones until something else transpired to take over this algorithm. Because I'm all over the place. He's all over the place. One thing for sure, two things for certain. Take all the street stuff out. Compton Ricc Roc know how to keep the conversation going. They said he turned his comments off yesterday. Ricc Roc turned his comments off because I knew if I turned my comments off, that'd get everybody else to say Compton Ricc Roc name everywhere else and make the conversation bigger, because I had another plan in mind. That's why I read stuff like this. Art of War.
The Order of the Windsor. Okay, so Compton Ricc Roc says he's trolling us, man. He's been trolling y'all. He turned his comments off on purpose to get the conversation going, keep his name out there in the algorithm, basically. He's reacting to this video because he knows it's going to do numbers. It's going to be one of his biggest videos. He let that happen. He let this whole build-up happen, so he can run his content, basically, I guess. But I don't know. I don't want to necessarily speak for him or dissect exactly what he's saying. Apparently, he's going to get into it, exactly what happened this morning, exactly what this beef is over, etc. So, I don't want to speak too much for Compton Ricc Roc. I prefer to let him speak for himself.
Very smart when it comes to this stuff. A lot of people say he's a buster. He's a mark. He's a sucker. Because they looking at it from their point of view, how I used to think about it, how I used to do things when I didn't care. When I was ready to do what Ricc Roc normally do. Everybody know what Ricc Roc used to do. Now Ricc Roc do things a little different. And I'm going to break down all that in just a second. Just hold on. We're going to watch a little bit more of this video. Let's get back to it.
I just wanted to squabble, bro. Shout out to the Nutties. I'm in Yankee Stadium right now. Shout out to my bros. Dead homies. Yankee Stadium, where you at, bro? Ricc Roc, where you at, cuz? I'm in your hood, on your block. I told you, 3 o'clock, bro. What we doing? Come on, bro. See, this is what I'm talking about. Niggas talking about niggas is internet niggas. That's why I'm doing this. Make blood, 40s, and nutty. Not from New York, but you rock our NYs. Nigga rock the same hats y'all niggas. These my niggas over here. Dead homies. I left my wallet in the car. I'm about to go get something. I'm about to buy something out the ice cream truck. Shout out to my niggas for Nutty. This ain't nothing against the Nutties, no nothing.
It definitely ain't. And I'm going to send an apology out to both of these communities. I'm going to send an apology out to my community as well as his community. Like I say, they don't have anything to do with this. My section, his section, great relationship, get along, play baseball together, so forth. Sporty Face even have a relationship with a couple of my young homeboys. That's how he's comfortable. That's how he knows the area. As well as I've been over there my whole life. Know that whole area. I don't want to talk about what could happen, what should have happened, or what I used to do and make happen. We're not talking about that. We're going to talk about a little bit more. Just keep on watching the video. We're going to get to it.
It's a personal problem. Again, I'm Yankee Stadium. Dead homies. Yankee Stadium. Dead homies. Grannies.
Well, that's good. You know, that's mature. That's mature though of Ricc Roc. I am interested to see what happened behind the scenes. He said a couple of times already he's going to speak on that shortly. Exactly what happened this morning, because as I said this morning when he did a video, all he said was, me and Spoety Face handled that this morning, and it's not for the internet. And then he moved on. And people were saying, so well, y'all squabbled or what? I mean, what do you mean? It sounded like perhaps they squabbled, but I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't know how it sounded like that, really, but I'm saying. He said they handled it, and that was it. Wasn't going to speak on it. So anyway, now he is at least speaking on it, but he seems to be doing it in a mature way. I mean, people, his comments are on. I've seen them. People are on him a little bit in the comments still, of course, you know. But just the fact that at least he's saying, I'm not going to say what could have happened, what should have happened, because I know that whole area. You know, like he over there, but I know that whole area. So, you know, in other words, I'm not going to sit up here and say I could have came from this way or came from that way or had people over there waiting on you and sniped you down. I could have cooked you if I wanted to, you know, come over there again, or, you know, whatever. He's not on here being aggressive or making threats or saying what could have happened or what should have happened. And let's see how, you know, if these individuals ended up talking it out or what, how did they resolve it this morning? Perhaps it seems like it was resolved somehow earlier today.
Grannies. Dead homies. Yankee Stadium. 410. 410. So I'm just trying to say, I just want to squabble. This ain't nothing but a little squabble, bro. Ain't nothing but a little squabble. Hold up. Hold up. Let me just.
All right. So we're going to get up out of here. We're going to break it down. All this stuff transpired said it was because of whack, which I would never get into an altercation over whack. A lot of people say Ricc Roc takes whack 100. He never say nothing about whack 100. Why he never say nothing about whack on the internet? Well, I'm going to tell y'all something. I don't have a problem with him. I've been knowing the man before we got on the internet. The character that he is now, not the guy that I know. Y'all know whack 100. I never knew whack 100. I knew a whack. And I'm not fit to take no squabbles, especially with no young Keyway, no young Rip. We not doing that over at all. So he said a comment, and I said what I said, which was for anybody who had a problem with the man, y'all worked there, and for the dudes who got a problem with him that been up there, y'all got a problem with him. Spoety said, you know what? I'm going to speak up and I'm going to say something because I don't think nobody else who he could be talking to is going to say anything. So it all started because of this picture right here, right? So let me get to it. Or we get to that. We're going to go here. So this is the picture. On my picture, it says Compton Ricc Roc at 100 show made sure all the kids, he made the kids' day by bringing Blueface to my son party along with making these kids happy. Shout out to my BM for making magic happen every time. Time for the kids. Let's give these kids a good summer. That's what I posted on that same video. Now, when you go over here to Wack's page, let me see if I can find his page. Hold on 1 second. So we're going to go over here to his page. All right. So this is Wack page. And this is the same picture. Just a different title. And this title.
Yeah. And this is what I was talking about yesterday or so, whenever one of them videos I had done, when I was talking about the picture that Compton Ricc Roc had taken, that was yesterday, had taken with Wack 100, referring to this picture here. I'd seen it on Instagram. And the caption of the picture, or the title as Compton Ricc Roc is saying, had my name in there, Spoety Face's name, and Hefe, his name, ODM Slim, a few people, like 5 or 6 people, and we're right there in the blue. Our names are right there in the blue. You can't really read it right here. But, you know, he disrespected me again, disrespected my mother, my deceased mother, did Wack 100. And the title of this picture with Compton Ricc Roc. But anyway, man, let's see what Ricc Roc has to say about it.
Right here says, had to pull up on my comrade at Compton Ricc Roc. Table is set. New movement. YTG. YouTube gangsters. We accepted all application requirements. 1, can't tell on yourself or your homies or open unaliving cases. Young and Hefe, voice. 2, can't talk your way out of a fade. Sporty face. Voice 3, can't be actively smoking Ricc. ODM Slim voice. 5, can't use firearms on child care. Brian Blake, whatever that is. Voice 6, can't touch your mother in inappropriate ways. And he says, Damian Porter voice. Follow us both. DM your qualifications. So that right there was the video.
Yeah, so I didn't even know he said, I didn't even, you know, once I saw my name or whatever, I sort of just left it on, you know, got out of there or whatever, and saw what he said about me as Compton Ricc Roc just read. But I didn't know that he said, tag us both. You know, he said, we're starting a new gang, YTG, YouTube Gangsters. In order to apply and join the gang, you can't, 1, shoot yourself, name the person. 2, duck a fade, name Spoety Face. You know, said, follow your mother, play with your mother, Damian Porter. Said, if you want to join the gang or whatever, tag us, tag me and Ricc Roc. I didn't know he had said that part. And they got the picture right there together. Yeah, that would make people think that you were in on it, Ricc Roc, that you are okay with this. He's saying tag both of you, and you right there in the picture with him. And he's saying all of this disparaging stuff about people in this title with you on the picture. and then saying tag both of us as if you were in on, like you agree with the caption or the title. But as Compton Ricc Roc said, and as he just showed his title on his picture on Instagram, the same picture, it says something totally different. This is what Whack 100's caption or title says on his picture, not Compton Ricc Roc's.
That most likely triggered Spoety face. The picture. Because right after that picture was posted, that's when he came to the internet and said what he said on his live. He said it was one of the guys that was in his live who brung it up. But more than likely, it was because of that picture. If my son wanted Blueface to perform at his party, which we had, I'm talking about a good party. Good party for my son. Had multiple rappers, Chef Boy, a couple of other rappers performing my son's birthday party. I had a communication line to have Whack to pull Blueface. It wasn't a problem. I don't care who he got beef with. I don't care who he get into it with on this internet. Long as it made my son and the family day, that's all that mattered to me. Whatever he got going on, that's his business. That's his problem. Do I agree with a lot of stuff he do? No. Do I take up for him? If you go back on my page, there's a couple of videos with me and him that went back and forth. Got into it. They just ain't went back far enough to find him. So, after that video, I came and did one about dudes being busters and marks because they work up there. Dudes who done been up there, visit No Jumper. A lot of people know where's it at. Everybody claimed to have this beef with him. They know what time frame he up there. Go up there and handle your business at that much of an issue because y'all keep on bringing my name up in it like I got something to do with whatever he got going on. He his own man, I'm my own man. I don't, it's no need for me to talk about somebody who I don't have an issue with. I've been knowing the man before he was this Whack 100 character. When I knew him, he was nothing like this. So I understand the character because I understand the internet. Seen Charleston White do it his best. I seen him come on here and troll people, agitate people to keep his name going, regardless of how it make him look. And I know that he's taking pages out of the same book that I read. Get them talking, get them going. Who cares about how they feel? Get your name in the algorithm. And a lot of people want their name in the algorithm. That's why so many people doing a reaction to the video that's on the internet right now. This ain't something that Spoety Face started. This ain't something that Compton Ricc Roc started. This is something that the internet started. It's been going on before me and him even got on here. I just know how to do it the best now and get my name back where it needs to be at, make everybody talk. That's like if I take a squabble right now. Purposely lose the squabble just so everybody can run the narrative. Don't show up at a 3:00 meeting that somebody else think that they gonna make the appropriate time for me to pull up. It's gonna get everybody talking. He's a buster. He's a mark. Everywhere. It's everywhere. All over the internet. Work in my favor. Now, like I told.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want if that's how, once you get his name out there. There are other ways to get your name out there. But nevertheless, I'm glad both of these brothers are safe at the end of the day, man. It's just internet content. Didn't lead to anything. Had he shown up for the fight, who knows? He could have escalated all of this. No one wants to see that. They put on the gloves and squabble. Compton Ricc Roc said he's not really with that sort of stuff. So whatever, just let it go, resolve it. But the fact that they both made it home safe to their girlfriends, their wives, and their children is what's most important, truthfully, at the end of the day, because none of this stuff is serious enough for either one of these brothers not to make it home to their families. And we have to set a good example, a better example for the community.
So let's go to this conversation before we get to what happened this morning. Yesterday, I got a phone call from a guy that I was incarcerated with when we was in juvenile hall kids. He called me out of the blue. Just so happened, him and Spoety Face, 4 Astros, all of them, they tight, close. We talking about him, his little situation that he got going on in his life. I'm telling him about the party and so forth. And then we just start talking about this internet stuff. And he said, Rock, I didn't know that y'all had an issue. I said, man, we ain't got no issue. That's internet stuff. I said, he said that he was going to my set at 3:00. He mentioned that a couple of my homies told him that I got whooped on, I got kicked, I got my camera taken, and so forth. So on my way over there, like I normally go when I'm in that section, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the ghetto. If you know, you know. Bet not get caught slipping. Gonna get a whipping. Right when I'm about to head that way, my cousin say, hold up, homie, before you bust a move. We know what you know to do. We know what you know how to do. Before you bust a move, sit back and see who making it comfortable for him to feel like he could pull up. He said he been having conversations with people out your area. I said, man, he said, man, just relax that way. Cause he said you and Spoety could get into a squabble. Y'all could shake hands, be cool. He said, but you don't want whoever he talking to and you don't know what's going on and you be sitting up under somebody who don't like you. I said, all right, I'm gonna follow your lead. You're my big cousin, I'm gonna follow your lead. Whatever. Spoety Face make the video that we just see. And when I seen it, I had a few partners saying, Rock, before I talked to my people, you want to go? Well, after I talked to my people, my bad. After I talked to my folks, I said, nah, this is the reason why. Let's hold up. Furthermore, if me and him go out there and get into a squabble, which ain't nothing, and we out there dirty, one of them neighbors call the police and they pull up, we got to run because you're going to be on deck. That's just how I go in the ghetto, right? Any ghetto. If you on deck, if you're not on deck, you got to run and take a chance of getting caught with your woo-wah. Homies fight homies all day in every hood. Niggas get caught with straps in every hood. I'm not going to be the one to let nobody dictate my move and put me in the trick bag that they going to get me to do what they want them to do on a time frame. It don't work like that. So what I did was purposely not showed up to get the algorithm.
Okay, I don't know. Sound like he was saying at first, though, that he was on his way over there to meet up with Spoety Face at 3 o'clock. He was going to make that appointment until he spoke with his big cousin, and his big cousin talked him down. Said, no, don't go over there. Wait. You can squabble him anytime. Whatever. Wait, chill, wait, no, wait. And he's like, nah, man, wait, just chill. We need to find out who's feeding Spoety Face this information or making him feel like he's comfortable enough to come over here to your hood and squabble you. We need to know who's making him feel this way. You need to know who your enemies are, basically his cousin is telling him. So it's easy to go over there and just take the fight, but we have bigger fish to fry, something much deeper than that going on. You need to know who's smiling in your face, but behind your back, perhaps telling someone that they can come over here to where you grew up at and perhaps harm you.
Rhythm, this internet talking. I want them to talk because I knew what I was going to do this morning. So the first thing I did this morning was went to the gym. Not no regular gym. They got a little boxing ring up in there. And I got that games trainer. And I said, hey, man, is it possible that you could get it to where I could get that ring? That way, I ain't got to be in the streets with no thing, nobody in no jeopardy where they got a thing. One time pull up, we ain't got to worry about losing everything we built like the rest of these cats we see in jail right now.
Right.
Over some internet shit.
Right. That's out.
The homie said, of course, I'm 100% sure I could get it to where y'all could use the boxing ring.
Okay, here we go. That's what it's all come to. They gonna squabble it up. Oh, so this is what happened this morning. I guess he's explaining what happened this morning. He went to the gym, get his workout in, asked his boy if he can get the ring. The games trainer. He said, yeah, 100% sure you can get the ring. So let's see, did they get the ring and get in there? Or did they set it up to get in there at some point? I thought it was leading towards just going to let it go. He apologized to both communities, but he just explained how come he didn't pull up in that moment. Let's see.
This is what he tell me. I said, okay, well, cool, no problem. I called a homie that I was incarcerated with as a kid. I ain't got to say where he from or anything. We all know who we all know who was on the phone. So me and him chop it up. I say, listen,
I don't know who's on the
get
phone.
Spoety on the phone.
Who was on the phone? We all know who was on the phone. Say, I did time with him as a kid. I guess maybe you talked about him on his channel before or something. I don't know who you talking about. Hell. I'm not even about to try to guess.
So when he got Spoety on the phone, I called one of my partners, and we all on, it's 4 of us on the phone. I said, listen, you said you got partners from the neighborhood, right? You could have called one of them and said, Ricc Roc, and we could have handled that without it being on the internet, without you broadcasting on the internet, letting everybody know what time it's going to go down, and so forth. He said, but Roc, you went to the internet with it, so I went to the internet with it. I said, yeah, but you took it past the internet because you went in my hood, which I didn't think you was going to go, and plenty others didn't think you was going to pull up in there, so I gave him his props on that. I said, I commend you on that, but you playing a very dangerous game, going up in somebody's neighborhood. I said, I wouldn't go up in your hood because I don't want to disrespect your homies. This ain't got nothing to do with them. Which I could do the same thing, but I'm a little older and wiser than that. I'm not going to do that. Play that game. We've seen a lot of people on here get unaligned, lose their life for that same behavior. So I told Spoty Face, listen, I got a...
Yeah, that's true, man. You know, and I did say that earlier when I covered Spoty Face being over there. It was all fun and games, and it was laughing. He got the ice cream, and I found it funny somewhat too. But you know what, to tell you the truth, man, tell you the truth, bro. Tell you the truth. I promise you, man. I went in there and I made some eggs, right? After I made a couple videos. I still haven't done the thumbnail to these other videos yet. I loaded some other videos on my other channel, did them reactionary politics. The link is in the description. Support me, support the channel, subscribe to this channel if you have not done so as well, please. And subscribe to my other channel. It's called Reactionary Politics. Doing content over there, been doing it all week. And made some little turkey bacon, but trying to get some beef bacon. I don't eat pork. At any rate. So I was proud that I went in and cooked my own little food this morning. That's why I'm bringing this up. But while I was in there eating, after I took my little break, haven't taken a break since then. At any rate, while I was in there eating, I was thinking, it came across my mind, I promise you. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do any more content on Spoty Face and Ricc Roc. I'm not going to do any more content on them and this beef that they have going. I even thought about taking the video down that I did this morning with Spoty Face in the nutties and all that. Because I said to myself, all that was before I seen this video right here with Captain Rick. I mean, I didn't see it up to this point right here. I didn't know everything he was about to say. I saw it up to like a few minutes when he was reacting to Spoty Face's part. I don't know nothing about the boxing ring and what he's about to say right here next. If they're going to get in the ring and that they had this phone call, what have you. But I was just thinking that, well, you know, if something ends up going bad between these two brothers, which I don't want to happen, then that would bother me. That would haunt me. Because I'm sitting here doing content. I'm falling in and it's all fun and I'm laughing in some of the videos, whatever, and it is funny. But if it escalates to where it's not funny anymore and someone gets hurt, and I'm playing a video with Spoty Face pulling up to his hood, and it's like I'm antagonizing it. It's like I'm adding fuel to the fire. And then it escalates and someone really get hurt, then I have a responsibility in that as well. You know, they're their own two men. It's their beef or what have you. You know, I get all that. They handle it how they want to handle it. They sell it how they want to sell it. And no one can, it shouldn't be a video that ignites it or doesn't. But the truth is sometimes that stuff does matter. It has an influence. So we have to be careful, and I have to be careful. Not to just run content just for content. So some other videos I did today, you will see them, had nothing to do with this stuff. And I was going to stay away from this. So then I saw this, and I saw that Captain Ricc Roc said he was going to address it. And this is nothing where it's, you know, some rah-rah, somebody, he's apologizing here. And it looks like they're trying to settle the situation. So I said, I can cover this. This is not adding fuel to any fire or whatever. He's trying to, you know, He's saying what happened. And again, he's not aggressive. And if it was that, I wouldn't be covering it right now. If he was calling them marks and busters and this and that, or even if Spoty Face was doing that, I wouldn't be covered because I don't want to add fuel to any fire like that. If anything, behind the scenes, I try to contact both of them and tell them, nah, man, we just gonna chill on that. The other dude, no love. But this situation, no, I wouldn't want to see this carry out like that. So I was already thinking that. And I just brought that up because of what Compton Ricc Roc just said, that it's dangerous going in someone else's hood like that. I said that earlier. It is. Whether you know them, grew up with them, even if your family's from over there. Your cousins or something. Maybe if it's your big brother and he a straight G from over there, maybe you got a shot. Even then it's tricky. But like your cousins and all that, nah, man. And just your homies and friends? Oh, no. No way. No way. Because it's too dangerous. And that's why Compton Ricc Roc is not going over there to the 40s. He said he could. But he said, as he said, people get unalive for that kind of. He's right. That would just be stupid. For him to go over there saying, where's Spoty Face at? I'm about to squabble him down or whatever by himself. No. Spoty Face was able to pull it off probably because, as Compton Ricc Roc said, as Spoty Face said, he knows a lot of those individuals, grew up with a lot of them, been at people's houses over there, the whole nine. It wasn't a lot of dudes over there hanging out anyway that we saw in the video. He ended up talking to some dude other than that with some kids getting some ice cream. It ain't like it was 50 nutty blocks out there. Could have ended up being a different story. Who knows? You got to be careful. I said that to Spoty Face earlier, and I will say that again. It's all fun and games, but let's not do that again, bro. Let's not go to someone else's hood, even if you are familiar with that hood, familiar with the individuals, asking for a fight from one of their homeboys. Now, I'm not saying don't call someone out for a squabble if you feel disrespected. We're all men, and you want to handle it that way as opposed to hurting one another in a real permanent way and causing some permanent damage and the other going to prison for a permanent time, then that's okay. I would not encourage that either, but I would rather that than individuals using these weapons. But you don't have to go to someone's hood to do that. Just tell them, man, meet me over here. And we're going to meet in a neutral spot. We're going to meet in the gym. We're going to get in the ring, whatever. We can meet in the alley if that's what it is. But over here at this alley, not in your hood, not in my hood, or over here. Something like that, I'm just saying.
Better idea. We could go in there, in this gym. I got it set up. We could get it out the way. Nobody got to worry about getting caught up at all. We ain't got to worry about no neighbors calling no one. None of that stuff.
Okay.
We cool. We ain't even got to ride dirty.
All right.
They gonna let us go up in there and do our thing. Spoty Face told me, Rock, and it was 4 people on the phone, ain't got no reason to lie. He said, Rock, I don't want to squabble. He said, I don't want to squabble. I said, so basically you did it for the internet attention. He said, no, that ain't what I did it for. I did it because you put up a video. You put your video up, so I put mine up, and you said what you said. You called me this. I said, no, I didn't put a name on it. I said, the dudes who got a problem with him know where he at. You took it upon yourself to get in it, which is the internet game that they do. So once he said he didn't want to get down, he said, Rock, we could talk and try to bring this peace and do it to where we could bring brotherhood together. So when he said that, I said, at first I was rocking with it. I said, all right, look, check this out. So my homie butted in the conversation. And he said, whoever told you this about Rock, that's a lie. Nothing ever happened to Rock like that, homie. You got him mixed up for somebody else. We ain't got to say who that somebody else is. You know.
I don't know.
Homie told Spoty Face.
Who are you talking about, Rock? I'm all behind. He said, if you know, you know. I don't know who you talking about. Got him mixed up with somebody else. They can be from Compton. Okay, so he said he went to the gym, got the boxing ring from the games trainers. Man, I need that ring. The games trainer said, no problem, 100%. You got that. Get in there and squabble down. Got on the four-way call with Sporty Face. Told Sporty Face, I got the ring. Well, how come you ain't just hit me or hit one of the homies instead of getting on the internet with it? Well, because you get on the internet with, okay, well, I got the ring. What's up? Squabble up in the ring. And he said, Sporty Face said, I don't want to squabble. It was just for content or whatever he said. He said, Sporty Face said he didn't want to squabble. Okay. As I said, I don't want to ignite anything anyway. So whatever. Sporty Face may have a response to that. I don't know. Wish I could get a call like that. Telling me that I took that, man. Let's come over here and get in the gym and do it. Man, cool.
You could have called one of the homies and we could have did it like that without it being on the internet, showing the hood. That's where the problem lingers at. Nothing to do with the squabble. That's where the problem linger at. So once he didn't want to get the squabble in this morning, well, we could have did it in a better way. I said, man, it is what it is, homie. It is what it is. I'm not tripping off what people got to say with people because they ain't going to pay for my lawyer. They ain't going to pay for my bill if I get caught out there with a pistol. Got too much to lose. He got too much to lose. He got kids. But he still put his on the line. I give him his props for that. But somebody got to be the thinker. Listen, man, I'm not going to be the one to get caught slipping when I know a safer way, a better way we could do this. Some people go say, man, you get down anywhere and he caught y'all, Rock. I don't care what y'all talking about. Y'all still thinking like kids. I'm thinking like a grown up that's getting this paper because I'm getting some paper. But anyway, man, I don't look at Spoety Face as no punk, no buster at all. But I told him, we not going to make this about who you think it's supposed to be about. We're not going to make this about him at all. So we can go ahead and knock this song out, shake hands, be cool. After that, it is what it is. And we left it at that, man. I ain't got no problem with nobody, homie. He ain't got no problem with me. It was all over disrespect on both ends. And yeah, man, that's that. So Spoety Face, oh yeah. He showed the video of him in the neighborhood. But he didn't show the video or he didn't record the part when there was a conversation had with him. And he disregarded that conversation. And that's here or there. But he did get met in the neighborhood. And I'm going to leave that right there, man. It's Compton Ricc Roc with Compton Ricc Roc TV.
All right, he got met in the neighborhood, he said, implying, I guess, that someone did pull up on Spoety Face, what you doing over here, or what's up, or whatever, you know. He said Spoety Face didn't include that in the video. I don't know. But there you have it. Compton Ricc Roc responding to the Spoety Face situation. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Go over there and subscribe to Reactionary Politics, please. And again, it's good that it ended where, I mean, if they went in the ring and squabbled, that's fine. But it's good that it didn't end in real damage or real violence. That Compton Ricc Roc, if he'd have pulled up and squabbled, whatever. I'm not saying he shouldn't have pulled up and squabbled or didn't have to pull up and squabble, but the fact that they both made it home and are back, both still the next day able to make content safely, freely, is a win at the end of the day. Some people going to say that Compton Ricc Roc took a loss because he didn't show up for the fight. He just explained what happened. He said he was on his way over there. He was going to show up. Like I say, but he hollered at his big cousin. He said, man, no, you got to be more strategic than that, essentially. So he basically stopped on his step, okay, to find out who the culprit is over there that's making Spoety Face feel comfortable. enough to come over there and press this sort of line. But there it is. It sort of ended. It ended how it ended, as Compton Ricc Roc said. He doesn't care what anyone says about it. It ended how he ended. He's more mature now. He has a lot to lose. He's getting paper, as he said, and he's not about to go and crash out, basically, over some internet, some content stuff. He said he was willing to get in the ring and squabble, though. But that was about it. I don't know. Let me know. Shout out to Compton Ricc Roc, man. Shout out to Sporty Face. And, it doesn't have to end with someone being ended. It ends just like this. It is what it is. At least they're at home with their families, and that's what's most important for us in the community, period. Stay safe and stay free, people.